Upon further review, the ruling on the field stands. This is the greatest sports podcast, First and Goat.
Oh,
All right, what's good, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of First and Goat. Today's June 1st, and we need no introduction. We are the three-headed goat monster, Adan, Luis, and myself. We're running a little bit late right now, so let's just dive in right now. We just finished game one of the NBA Finals, Miami at Denver. What's your guys' take? What do you guys think happened? I don't know. Some surprises, some not. What do you guys think?
who do you want to start?
I think Luis was going to take the head today. So we'll start with Luis. Like, what do you think? Was there any surprises for you, or was all scripted? Was it scripted?
No, I thought it was a good game. You know, Denver's heavily favored. Miami's been I think playing on fumes, you know. The last, they were up 3-0 against Boston and they had to go to a game 7. To me, Jimmy Butler seems to be running on fumes. Like, his shots are short. The last couple of games, I feel like he hasn't been playing very well. But the difference has been his teammates have been stepping up and hitting a lot of three-pointers. And the difference today is none of those threes were falling down. I think one of the guys, maybe, what is it, Strauss?
Yeah.
I think he was maybe 0 for 6, 0 for 7 maybe. And Caleb was 1 of 7 maybe. So, usually one of those guys steps up for them. And now that we're blown up today in Denver, Denver's such a solid team, man. So I think it played out with Denver being heavily favored and Miami's kind of playing on fumes. But, I've been hearing a lot of that Denver's going to get swept or that they're going to win 4-1. I don't know if you saw that. Punk ass Drake put in $1 million bet sale to win $250,000 on Denver winning the series. And then he put a $250,000 bet to win $850,000 by correctly picking how the series outcome was going to be, and he picked them to win 4-1. So, again, I want to give Miami a little bit more credit. I don't think they're going to get swept. I don't think they'll just take one game away. So I'm hopeful that that they make this a competitive series.
Adan, did you take?
All right. AP stat of the night. Coming out with it.
Right off the back.
It's part of the game, and you guys saw it. No surprises. The Heat shot 2 free throws. That is the lowest attempts in an NBA game. I was looking really quick before we jumped on. I was looking at the stats really quick. Like, rebounds are pretty much a wash. Assists are pretty much a wash. Steals, blocks, like all this shit is like, oh man, they're really close within like 2-3 of each other, steals and blocks like 1 of each other. So I'm like, what made the difference? None of the Miami Heat starters shot a free throw. It was one of the bench guys shot 2 free throws. The Nuggets starters shot 20 free throws. They made 16 of them. To me, that was it. That was the difference. If the Heat start getting calls, or I do see that Jimmy, he can't keep up. He can't carry a team throughout the whole playoffs, not because he has so much to do. So if they don't get to the free throw line, if they don't have the legs to attack, then I think that's the difference. And Jokic is he's so efficient, man. He got 27 points on 12 shots. He was 8 of 12. Another triple-double. He just makes it look so easy, like so effortless. Yeah, that was it for me.
Can I ask you a question real quick on that? Like, so that's crazy, right? That stat, that they only shot 2 free throws, right? I think before that, the finals record was like 3 free throw attempts. So that's crazy over an entire NBA game. Do you think that has a lot to do with just their style of play? Like, they're just popping threes, even, the only difference before is that they were falling, than today?
What I saw, and Jokic is not a great defender, so Adebayo actually had a decent game. But what they were doing is they were clogging the lane. Like he wasn't guarding him at the top of the key or wherever. Like Jokic was just stepping back. So I think that the whole game plan was like, yeah, beat us with 3-pointers. And you know, if Struz and Caleb and those guys were making them, it would have been a different game. They took a lot, and I think they were only like 29%. But I think that is their strategy. Kind of like the Celtics, right? When the Celtics make threes, nobody could beat them. So you live and die by the three, and I think that was the Nuggets strategy.
I think he took the words out of my mouth. You live by the sword, you die by the sword. And that's exactly what happened today. I said I didn't put a ton of confidence. I was wishful thinking. I was kind of rooting for the feel good story, but I mean, like I said, I told you this team's only go as far as Butler takes him, you know. And this guy's, it's not like it's a Stephen Curry where you're standing out in the arc shooting three from half court. Like Butler's attacking the basket, banging down low, it's getting beat up, something like that, and it's going to take its toll. Granted, they were up 3-0 on Celtics, but they blew the next 3. You go to Boston, you handle them easily, but then your next flight is to Denver, my house city. Like I don't think they have none legs. So I'm not surprised. Like I was rooting for the Heat, but like I said, I'm not surprised at all. Another thing too, like the only thing they got going for them now is that I thought the next game would be Saturday, but the next game's not Sunday. So you got 2 good late in the days to get some good rest. So that might help them. They could split, which is not far-fetched. They may look a run if they might be able to split when they go back to Miami. Even if they don't, you go back to Miami, you could try to even up the series, at 2-2. But I think Miami's showing the true colors. I said, not that they don't belong here. It's just like, I don't know, like they did so much already. Like US, they did. How should I put it?
They accomplished a lot.
They definitely overachieved more than they should have. You know what I'm saying? And now, now it's like besides Butler, who shoots, who's going to show up? Like everybody else, like Strauss, Martin, and Vincent. Like they are who they are. But I said not to say that you're not going to have a great game from Vincent. I mean, he'll probably give you 20, 25. Strauss will give you another 10, 12. Next game, 15, whatever. Could leave another 15. Butler could give you 20, 25. Bank could show up another 20 plus or whatever. And then you're that, like who knows what's gonna happen to Hero? I don't know. Is this gamemanship?
They said he could play
game 3, now it's game 2.
Yeah.
But it's just maybe just like like just gamemanship. So like anything could happen. I can't count them out because I think we all did, round 1, and the second round, and he's like, no, and like they just proved us wrong. So the same thing. I don't know. I kept on hearing the 1 seed versus 8 seed, it's over. Like I get that, but at the same time, like I think we just got to stop thinking Miami's an 8 seed. They prove their worth, and they belong here. They're not an 8 seed. I know they won 2 play-ins in a row, and they were like a couple minutes away from losing to the Bulls, and it would have been a different story. But whatever, it happened. They got the 2 playing games. They're in. They cried. They deserve to be here. They're a great team. But I don't know. Like I said, they might be running on fumes now. Like I said, I kind of hope. I'm proven wrong, but we'll see. We'll see game 2. We'll see Sunday.
Yeah, I think this was one of the. Oh no, go ahead, Adon.
I was gonna say if you guys wanted to look just really quick at our predictions.
Yeah.
Oh, I might beat up there.
Okay, here's Luis. You you do have the Heat winning the whole thing.
That's it. Went with the whole thing. So I had to adjust, right, to beat the Celtics and then the Nuggets to beat the Lakers.
Yeah, my fault. I did this wrong. You got them right. So now it's you got the finals right. So there's a lot more green than there used to be.
Right, right, exactly. And I'm gonna stick with Miami game 1. The last thing I was gonna say was, I was surprised, because I've been giving a lot of credit to how well they're being coached. So I'm surprised that, the Spoelstra wasn't able to, do some kind of in-game adjustment when I mean, that free throw stat is so like that has to be something that they had to talk about at one point through the game, you know? And one of the things that I think that Miami did do well against all the teams they beat is they had pretty decent ball movement, you know? Their offense, they were kind of hard to guard in terms of that their offense could, you know, I know that Jimmy had spurts of taking over the offense, but then, you know, when he had to take a breather, they were moving the ball around. You didn't know who was going to take the shot, you know? And at least I know it's only one game. I know it's only one game from Denver, but it felt like they were doing a good job anticipating and contesting shots, you know, from the Miami players and disrupting their shots. So I don't know. I know it's only one game, and that's what happens in the NBA. You know, there's overreaction after one game. They could have lost a close game or got blown out. But I was just surprised that Spoelstra didn't do what. And I think this is the first game that Miami doesn't win game one. I think they've been playing on the road the whole playoffs. And it's the first one that they weren't able, you know. And I don't even think they were really in it at any point, you know. They kept trying to do spurts and come back. I think the closest they got was in the last minute, you know, when they were just chucking up threes and some of them were falling in. But yeah, but I'm going to stick with Miami.
Nice. All right, so a lot more red than before, buddy.
I'd like to switch through. I mean,
now, you know, and then here the Nuggets. I didn't get to finish it, sorry. But yeah, you had Lakers and Celtics, and you were riding with the Lakers.
Yeah, I just like to stick with my picks. I don't like to, you know, change it. And I get it. It's not you guys flip-flopping, nothing like that. It's like, hey, you know, we're revising the bracket. But
Yeah.
I was just stubborn. I wanted to stick with my picks. I'm kind of upset that so I had Heat at one point.
You never picked the Heat. You picked the Bucks, and you got that.
Oh, that's what threw me off right there. Like, all right, okay, I understand what I'm saying. It threw me off. I'm like, what? I saw the Heat. Like, what's going on?
But I put at the top in white who won. If you didn't pick, like you went with the Knicks after the Bucks didn't make it. You went with the Knicks over the Heat.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah. So I don't really change much and stuff like that. I mean, did a little bit, but yeah, I mean, it is what it is.
So what do you want me to put here?
Here for the
Yeah,
championship.
what do you want me to put for champion? Yeah.
The Nuggets just won the game one. You know, and they said the Heat are probably running fumes. If I have to pick one out and change it, then I mean, obviously I have to, right? Because I don't have any horse in the race, but I would say Nuggets. Hope I'm wrong. I like the
Why?
I don't know. The feel-good story, you know? The feel-good story, that's all.
So Nuggets are a feel-good story. You know, Jokic.
They got an easy road to the final. Who they beat the first round? They got Nuggets, got the 8.
T-Wolves.
They played the Suns, a 6 seed.
Yeah.
And then they played a 7 seed. And now going to play 8
The fourth
seed.
scene.
Ain't no feel-good story. It was a gimme, whatever. They got lucky. You know, they got lucky. They're not that great of a team. Let's be honest. They're not that great. Outside of Jokic, Murray, Gordon, AJ, Porter hasn't done it. It was ups and downs. Like, you know, Bruce Brown, KCP, they're not that great. They got, let's just be honest.
So if they're not that great, what makes the Heat great? Jimmy's not better than Jokic, and Bam is not better than Murray. So the other guys are just role players. What makes the Heat great for you to say that they're championship worthy because they're a great team?
I didn't say the Heat would championship. I'm just rooting for them because the underdog, you know, it's just that's who I'm rooting for. I'm not saying they deserve. Like, if anything, it makes them better because they're an AC team that beat the 8. They beat the number 1 seed. They beat the next the 4 seed, and they beat the 2 seed, and they could potentially win the 1 seed if they win it. Now that's a badass ride right there. That's what I'm talking about right there. That's what makes it a little better.
That's like a March Madness.
So when you go through that competition, it's gonna wear you down. It's gonna, you know, you're gonna lose some, you know, you're gonna lose some energy. You're gonna, you know, it's gonna take a toll on you. You know, so that's why, you know, like if they had an easier route, if they played Hawks first round, and then maybe the Nets, and then back to the, I don't know, some other bums that's, that maybe, like it would have been different. They would have, had more in the tank, but that didn't happen. Could have, should have, would have, right? That's what it's in. But
Yeah, mine's not any better. I don't know how to count at the end. We count the greens and the reds and see who did better. We'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out. Not bad. All right. Pretty good. Where did Sal go? Oh, there you are. Okay. So we updated our picks. I think you guys are Don, you're sticking with
I'm not giving a pick. I do not want
that's interesting.
I do not want to change my score.
All right.
those aren't in anymore.
I had the Celtics. I had the Celtics winning. They're out, so I'm out. I'm not giving a pick for the finals.
So real quick before moving on from the finals, now that we recapped game 1 here, I was just curious to get your guys' thoughts on Boston. Number 2 seed, right? High expectations. They were going up against Miami. 1 game away from being the first team ever to come back from being down, 3-0. So what do you guys think? Like, so it's not so vague specifically. They got some big decisions to make, like to bring Jaylen Brown back, and then they got, Tatum, I think the year after. So what do you guys think? Are the Celtics still in good shape to be contending for the next couple of years in the East, or now that they've been bounced again from the from a opportunity to go to the finals? Don.
Yeah,
Let's start with Don.
that's a really good way to phrase it, Luis. So I think if they keep the team together, they still have a chance, dependent on health, to compete for championships. Because just last year they were in the finals, and this year they had another great year, right? They 57 and Bucks won 58, so they had a good season, even though the thing they changed coaches like 2 days before the season started, which I assume has some kind of adjustments. I don't know what the answer is when it comes to their players, but it just seems like something's missing. And I don't know if it's the coach or the leadership. I don't know if Tatum's got it, or Jaylen, or Brogdon, or whoever, but it seems like there's something missing when it comes to getting them motivated. I feel like they just think, and they are really good. They're talented, right? They're more talented than the Heat. Just felt that they thought just by being out there on the floor and having the talent that they were going to win, instead of actually putting in the effort in the game plan, right? The fact that they lost game 3 after being down 0-2, that just lets me know that they're just thought like, oh, there's no way we're going down 0-3. We're too talented, instead of actually fucking doing their job. So I feel like, I think they could compete, but I feel like there's something missing. And I know that coach is coming back. They're saying they want Jaylen Brown back. I don't buy that, game 7, Tatum, hurt his ankle, and that's the reason he had such a poor game. There's other things you could do, right? There's other ways you could affect the game. I feel that there's something missing, but I just know they do have the talent. So if they bring in a veteran, or I don't know, some really good assistant coach like Sam Cassell, or somebody that's trying to move up, that could bring in some kind of inspiration, some kind of, and I don't know how good that coach is, right? But Spoelstra, you've heard him talk. That guy's like really good. He's really good at getting his players to never quit, to play hard. So I think that's what they're missing. I think the roster's talented. They could bring in a veteran or a really good assistant coach. I think they could continue to give the league, problems, and maybe win one in the next couple of years.
I think you're right.
What about you, Sal?
They'll give the league problems in the regular season. That's all that's going to happen in the regular season. That's all that's going to happen. I don't know what they're missing. I'm not going to say I know it all. It might be coaching. This guy's just brand new. He was plugged in. Came out of nowhere because of the whole scandal with the previous coach. as far as Brown is, like I think they have no choice but to bring him. Who else are you gonna, replace him? I don't think Brown is the answer. He's not as good as advertised. I don't think he's just I don't know how I should put him, like somewhat. He's better than Russell Westbrook, that's for sure. But no, but seriously, no, like I can't handle the ball. You're a weak player. He can't handle the ball. He turns it over like, well, he has a better shot. He might drive the better a little bit more. He's better at driving the basket, but like he can't handle the ball. You see him dribble like Westbrook. He was nothing but like a turnover machine. So like, but what are you gonna do at this point? I mean, he was part of the equation, right? They got you 50-something games, and he got you the second seed overall. So you got to bring that, and maybe you could like do some kind of trade. I'm not saying you got to just because you sign him, you got to keep him. Like do some kind of trade. I definitely think that you got to move him, try to upgrade there, and they should be all right. And then I didn't think about that, but being like Sam Cassell, someone that wants to move up, motivated, has something to bring up, that has something to bring to the table, and like kind of help out, the head coach at the moment. The other thing too, I don't know if you guys remembered, but they didn't have to have Brown right now. They could have someone else. You remember who they could have had?
I don't like off the top of my head.
They traded.
You mean from when they drafted him?
When they drafted him up, he played. There was a team that was interested in him, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe that team didn't want. They did. No, I'm pretty sure the Boston, because that's when they had the players in the draft pick of the Nets, but they weren't interested. But they could have had someone else.
Kevin Durant.
No,
didn't they? Irving?
Someone else right now. Someone else. I'm pretty sure we'll go back and we could verify it. But if you guys give up, let me know when you guys give up. Yeah.
Wasn't it Kevin Durant?
I don't remember Kevin Durant. It might have been one of the possibilities. But there's another one right now. Right now, there's another player. That
who was out. He was out on the trading block, and the Celtics didn't want to give up Jaylen Brown for him.
Yeah, I think they were. Man, we gotta go back. But then they were asking too much, or they weren't too interested in this one particular player, and they thought they was asking too. And it came back and bit them in the butt.
I'm so confused right now.
So somebody.
He came back and nipped them in the butt.
So they just played Miami. So I'm thinking like somebody from Miami, like not Jimmy Butler.
It was Jimmy Butler when he was with the Bulls.
Jimmy Butler?
When I think they were trying to get rid of the Butler and he ended up going to Minnesota. I think that was the rumors they were trying to move.
I don't remember that.
They wanted Brown and some picks. And I guess they didn't want Butler. I don't know, maybe but we could go back and revisit it. And
that's pretty funny.
I'm pretty sure that's what I remember. It was or maybe that's why I wanted, but I think Boston didn't want to move. Like, not for Butler. I guess they wanted someone proven, or I don't know who they wanted. But I think they wanted Brown and some picks and some.
So how come we haven't heard this? This would have been motivation, right? Like, I thought we would have heard this if they're like, oh, the Celtics didn't want to trade Jaylen Brown because they didn't want Butler. That's like fucking board material,
Right.
Maybe
I don't remember it, to be honest. I don't.
Maybe I remember.
We'll have to look it up.
Maybe we'll look at it some other time. I don't want to look at it, but now I want to go into a little Google.
Right. Well,
wait, 2 days ago, Jimmy. This is the headline: Boston Celtics almost traded for Jimmy Butler instead of drafting Jaylen Brown. That's what it happened.
Yeah.
Jaylen Brown had a chance to become a big figure in Boston a couple years ago. This is in 2023, May 23. Oh, wait a minute, was it? Yeah, okay. So Jimmy Butler had a chance to become a figure in Boston a couple years ago, but the team took a different route and drafted Jaylen Brown, who already carried big expectation for him. Back in 2018, KC Johnson of the Chicago Tribune revealed that the Celtics pondered the idea of trading the number 1 pick and was that year's NBA draft, and said they kept the pick, bought in Brown, and the Bulls kept Jimmy Butler. The Bulls held advanced discussion with the Celtics centered on Butler for the number 3 pick, with whom they would have selected Providence guard Chris Dunn. These sources said, but whatever, I don't know. Maybe they got it, but that's pretty much. If you want to look at it, but
I didn't know that. Yeah.
So The one that they could have traded for is the one that fucking eliminated.
Took him out.
Maybe that's your AP stat of the week right there, or trade rumor of the week right there.
I like it. I like it.
That's good stuff, man. And I agree with you guys. I think Boston's still, I don't kind of like how you guys alluded to. I don't know what it is. I think, with the coaching change, I think that was that did stick out a little bit during the playoffs, Then I think the coach, I don't know if people commended him for taking accountability, especially when they were down 0-3, right? He was saying that he didn't have his guys ready. I don't know. It's just like, to me, it came across as lack of confidence. So I kind of, I agree with, but you're saying that ownership already said that they're going to bring him back.
Yeah.
So they just believe in him that much, like.
Well, I think, I don't know if it's believing, right? But from what I understood, there's nobody that has been first-time coach that has gone to their conference finals and gotten fired. But what happens is they bring them back, and then if the season's not going well, they get rid of them in the middle of the season. That's So I don't know if they're just following that trend. Like let's continue. Let's have some consistency. Plus, I think that they've changed coaches. Like this will be Tatum's fourth coach in like 4 or 5 years. So that's also, like there's no consistency in the team, even though they're having success.
And I think, so that's a really good point. But I think they're built pretty solidly. I'm curious to see what they're gonna do with Brown, because that's a lot of money that they would have to throw at him to keep him, to max him out. But the thing that I think Tatum's only 24 years old, you know what I mean? Which is crazy. I think, or maybe I'm wrong, but I thought maybe I'm confusing him with.
I think he's 25 now. But
he's 25. He's young, I feel like he's been around for a while, but maybe because they've been contending for the last couple of years. But he's still pretty young, and I think that's their main guy. So, he hasn't even hit his prime years yet. So, I think that they're still going to be pretty good contenders for the new future.
But Sal, you were saying that they don't have options, but then you said they do have options, right? So you're saying they don't have an option other than to sign him to that.
At the moment, you're not gonna let him walk away. You're gonna sign him.
But you could trade. Why can't you do a sign and trade to begin with? Why do you have to sign him and then wait until the middle? Like,
who's gonna want to give you? What are you gonna get from him right after this performance?
I don't know. Like what about Dame? Where are the Blazers going? No. Dame's already in his 30s, right? Why do you just want to bring in Dame for Brown, some picks or whatever, make it work, and you give Dame and Tatum, and then you give Portland a young guy. Maybe Brown could be amazing, just like Harden was with Houston, instead of being in the shadow of Tatum.
I don't know. I already saw him. He's a better version of Westbrook. The guy can't handle the ball, can't dribble, and he turns the ball over again. Like, you want to roll the dice on that guy, that's fine. Supposedly, whatever. I think they could do better. Dame, they could do better than Brown. But whatever. To each his own. I wouldn't. I
do think there's options. I think this offseason is going to be interesting. I think there's a lot of moves to be made. The Bulls I hope are going to be players with DeRozan and Levine and Vujicic, and the Portland and the Lakers. I think there's going to be a lot of movement going around this offseason.
Do you guys believe that Kyrie where's Kyrie going to end up? Do you guys think?
No clue, man.
That's a good question.
No fucking clue.
It's a big player, you know what I mean? And
he'll throw curveballs, I think his camp leaks stuff out, and like, oh, he's gonna sign here, he's gonna do this, and then all of a sudden, I don't know. It's like, because you see that, right? Like when they report him like a next move or the next trade or this and that, and it's like from credible sources, right? And all of a sudden, it's like complete U-turn. Right. So like, this guy does it on purpose. He leaks stuff out. He plays in media. So I don't know. Like, he's saying that he wants to. I thought I read something about yesterday before. somehow LA, and then he's not sure. Maybe Dallas. So like, who knows? I don't know what his train started. If you guys
What about the 76ers? So if Harden
76ers
if Harden somehow, whatever, for some reason decides to go back to Houston or go to Phoenix or whatever, why not pair him up with Embiid?
that'd be pretty sick right there. I mean, but I said, Harden had a pretty good year.
I mean, yeah, he was a solid, point guard. That's the position that they gave him, but not.
He led the league in assists. So
what's up?
he led the
Yeah,
league.
he did. He led the league in assists at 10 something. Yeah.
So like, I don't know how much of an upgrade. Like, if you would, let's just say the Sixers just lost to
They lost to Boston.
Boston. They just say Harden wasn't on there. He had Kyrie. Like, do you think you would have expected something different, a different result?
I don't know, right? It went to 7, but I think Harden had a really bad last couple of games. I know he did when Embiid was out and he carried them to that game 1 victory. I don't know. There's no way of knowing. I'm just throwing it out there. If Harden's not the option anymore, because Harden, I guess he just thinks that he could pick any fucking team out of a fucking hat, and they're just gonna sign him, right? He's like, oh, I don't know where I want to play. I'll make up my mind. Like, who the fuck told you we want you, right? Like, oh, maybe I'll go play for the Suns or I'll go play for the Rockets. It's like, fuck you, or maybe I'll stay here. So
yeah.
I'm just saying, if he's no longer your option, your point guard, then you have that money that you were gonna spend on him to bring in Kyrie Irving. That's all I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
Harden's a free agent, or he's in?
I think he opted out. So yeah, so he's a free agent.
I mean, if there's a way to sign him and trade him, I mean, honestly, back to that scenario, like, I would definitely take Kyrie over Harden, But
I think at this stage of their career, I would too. I know he's not the playmaker. I mean the assist guy. I don't know if that's playmaker, but he's more. I mean, he's still younger. He's more dynamic.
I think it's gonna be. I think you're right. It's gonna be an interesting NBA offseason. It's gonna be nuts. Maybe Phoenix gets a point guard. With Chris Paul, kind of just at the tail end of his career there.
They're talking about Irving to Phoenix with Booker and KD. Like, really? Does KD want Irving back?
Right.
I mean, you had you had Kyrie, and you had Durant, and you had the Booker version of Harden back then. I mean, and you didn't make it work there. It's fucking whatever. I don't see that happening, but
they might get rid of Aiden, right? They might get rid of him.
Who?
Aiden,
the center.
Yeah. Yeah, because at this point, who's gonna want a contender? Are you gonna want Chris Paul on the team?
Nah.
Well, maybe it depends what kind of what you want to use him as, right? Like, he's one of those leaders. What about Boston?
Like Memphis, you know what I mean?
You gotta have a solid point guard where he's gonna like not play in the regular season, and you're gonna bring him in like the last 8 weeks of the regular season into the playoffs, and cross the fingers that guy doesn't fucking pull a hammy or something,
But he could be a mentor, right? And with the Grizzlies, or maybe he seems to be the answer for Boston. How about you fucking bring him in off the bench in Boston?
For Brown?
I like that too.
I heard.
Yeah, I'm the Suns. I wanted to trade. I'm more willing to trade Paul for Brown. He could be that. Then I would be Portland trying to trade Lillard for Brown. Like, nah, I really
right. I don't think Boston would do that.
Yeah, but Boston wouldn't.
I mean, at that point, they said, or fine, if you don't want to do it, you're going to keep Brown at that supermax contract, and you already saw what he did, so it's up to you. Want to keep him? Go ahead, keep him.
The reason he's owed all that money is because of his performance in the regular season. He was second team All NBA. If he hadn't made second team All NBA, he wouldn't be, expecting $58 million a year.
Yeah, but it's regular season. Everybody puts up bullshit numbers in.
I like Brown. I would trade for Brown if I was the Bulls. I mean, you could work on your handles. that guy's a smart motherfucker, dude. He's really good.
A good defender too, right? I mean, he's just a solid basketball player. But I think especially in the playoffs, the turnovers were made. You know what I mean? That was magnified. But I mean, he shouldn't be the main guy handling. You know what I mean?
But he had all
Your
last year to
offense.
handle the ball. He to work on his handle. He never did. I think he
I
got
get
worse.
what you're saying.
Yeah, they don't have a point guard, right? Brogdon fucked up his elbow, and he's usually a reliable shooter. He couldn't make shit. Smart's not a point guard. So
Right.
the whole thing is on Tatum and Brown. Why aren't we putting more blame on Tatum?
Right. Yeah, and Tatum, I think, was pretty high on turnovers too, right, during the playoffs.
He was.
Both that
Brown.
combination.
The thing is, Tatum was having those really bad fourth quarters. So, because I remember watching Skip and Shannon, and they came out, was like, almost every fucking game, Tatum was 0 for 3 with 3 turnovers in the fourth quarter, right? Like, he would have decent first 3 quarters. And it was consistent. He was just disappearing in the fourth quarter. But Brown had a lot more turnovers, but Tatum's turnovers were happening more, at the end of games. There were more.
Gotcha. Just to shift gears a little bit, I know you guys are a big fan of Shannon Sharp, not really Skip Bayless, but of Shannon Sharp. So I just heard it from you guys that Shannon Sharp's not going to be coming back to Undisputed, or it's Fox, right? Well, no, I think it's. Well, you're right.
Well, you're starting rumors.
No, I read already in legit sources. I don't know if I can quote the websites, but it seems legit from what I've read online that is I guess it started late May. So they said next month, which is June. We're in June at the end of the finals. Like Alan said, he I guess talked to Fox Sports to he bought himself out. So I guess we got you on the X amount contract. Like, here's my chunk of change, have it, and I guess he got other plans. I guess maybe his team thinks he could do better, be more successful elsewhere. And I don't know what could have driven him to do that. Like, I don't know, his team. In that article, they said that him and Skip were kind of falling out a little bit. One of his, stemmed off to back in January. I know you remember with him, Buffalo player safety when got hurt, was in the hospital since the game, and Skip tweeted something about that. They said him to postpone the game. I forgot exactly his words, so I don't want to butcher it. But you remember, Shannon didn't show up tonight's game. No show, and I guess he tweeted about that. He intentionally didn't decide to show up, and there's also guys taking shots at Skip, and he's liking those tweets now. So there must have been some kind of fallout. So I mean, like I said, I can't speak for them. This is what I'm reading online. I don't know, but it'd be hard to see him because I couldn't stomach Skip to begin with. I kind of like when Stephen A and Skip were together because that's just one show I had to avoid. Like, I'm like, yes, shut the fuck up. And I got he moved on and he got Shannon, and Shannon, I like Shannon as a player. He's a great guy. I don't know much about him. His point of view on certain things, and he grew on me and he was fun. I still refuse to watch it, I remember, but then the last year or so that kind of sucked me back in. But yeah, I agree with a lot of stuff. I think he's very honest, very straightforward, calls a spade. So I don't know what you guys think, if you're gonna be missing a guy, or I'm sure he's gonna be on TV talking sports because that's what got him where he's at right now. So I don't know what you guys think.
Unless I hear it from Chris Broussard, I don't believe anything anymore.
Hold on, Chris Broussard, he heard me talk right now. Oh yeah, confirmed. Yeah. That doesn't mean undisputed.
You are Chris's source, even though you're reading.
No, I know. I read it on Complex Sports and some other websites, so whatever.
So, it sounds like it's gonna happen. It's too many rumors from too many different sources. But who knows, right? It's still considered a rumor.
And Shannon hasn't what's the word? Denied any of it. So.
Mm-hmm. I've seen some of their back and forth and that their tension. And some of the episodes they were getting into like screaming matches. But that used to happen before, right? So I don't know if that whole thing with the Bills guy, and then it seems like Skip started just taking shots at Shannon about being jealous. Like he would just downplay Shannon's career to always put up Tom Brady or Tim Tebow or whoever Skip liked. He would have to put down Shannon's actual professional career. Right? Like, oh, you're just mad because you're not as good as that guy. And you're like, Shannon will be like, I won 3 effing Super Bowls, like blah, blah, blah. I think so. I watch it, or at least I try to. Sometimes I don't get to, but I watch some on YouTube. Skip has been like on his best behavior lately. Like they've been actually like just really, really chill with each other. I feel like Skip now has like a really good take on a lot of things. He's just a lot more calm. So I don't know if because he knows it's coming to an end, like they're not butting heads anymore. But there's one thing that I saw with the rumor. There were some episodes where things were being brought up that the other person had no idea was going to be a point of discussion, and they made a point of saying like, well, why are you mentioning that? I didn't think this was going to be brought up. So I hear in those shows, like they prepare like crazy, right? They got graphics, they got fucking like, oh, can you show this replay? Like all this stuff, they go through kind of what they're gonna do during the show. So the fact that things were being brought up by both of them without the other person knowing, yeah, there's something going on. Like they're not talking like they used to. There's gotta be some tension. So I think it's probably real. Skip, I'm available. Fucking, you need a white Mexican, instead of a black guy. I think you would respect it. Where do I apply?
No.
That's awesome. No, you guys brought me onto, I didn't know. I was kind of like Sal. I didn't really like Skip Bayless and Stephen A. I did find it entertaining. Like I didn't have a lot of respect for their takes, either one of them. But I'll be lying if I didn't. Yeah, when they were originally on it, but I did find them entertaining. You know what I mean? I think that's their whole point of them being so outrageous all the time too, right? Just for that gets old fast. So when Shannon came, I'm like, it was very random to me. I just liked him, as a player, but I didn't know anything about him. But the more I saw him, even though he's such a big LeBron James fan, but he's very entertaining. Well, through his lens, of course, you know what I mean. But I feel like he does present very good points and backs them up. It's very different from Skip Bayless, with Skip Bayless with all his nonsense and hot takes, but I really enjoyed more than anything like his podcast, like Shannon Sharp's, like when he interviews people, they're very good interviews and podcasts. I can't even tell you the last time I've seen the show, the what is it called? Undisputed, So I'm excited to see what he's gonna do next. Now that I know like his style, and yeah, he's just very, very likable, very entertaining. I don't know what the hell Skip Bayless is gonna do, but I mean, I'm sure they'll find him somebody to argue with. But I'm kind of happy. I'm kind of happy that Shannon's like kind of like what you said, Salah. Now he's not really going to be tight end with Skip Bayless, and he'll go do his own thing. I saw it on Instagram, Madon, like a comedian like DL Hughley. He was like, "Hey, my boy's onto bigger and better things." He's like announcing it. He's like, he's gone after the finals, so excited for you, Shannon or whatever.
Is that one of the guys that he interviewed on his podcast, DL Hughley? I don't know,
maybe, but to be honest, I don't even know. But yeah, I saw. That's where I saw.
I think he did Steve Harvey. I don't know if he did DL Hughley, but he might know them. That's all I'm saying. So
yeah, and by far, I think you guys are right. Shannon Sharp has the funniest laugh. Like, to me, his laugh makes me laugh. Like I don't even know how. Like it
He's
just
he's
can't
the only
stop, man.
person I know that actually he's like when
It's hilarious. All right, so that was off topic. I just know that you guys are big fans of him.
It's good.
Go,
Yes, back to that, though,
go ahead.
skipping being is good, it's good behavior. I say it's maybe it's a little too late. It's maybe just so maybe draw some other talent or someone else to get in there. They if they're bickering to the end, then no one's gonna kind of maybe it's the producer telling them to like slow down. But yeah, it is what it is. I think from what I read, he left, and a few months later he started Undisputed. He brought Shannon in. I think he probably thought like, hey, who's this dummy? Maybe I could easy, get one over him. And I think Shannon outshined him, and I think that's what happened. Took shots at Shannon. He didn't like that, Shannon's the one that's growing with a podcast, and he is who he is. But yeah, like I said, shock value. And back to the whole that Steven skip, like it was interesting. It was never entertaining. All that shock, you keep that shock value.
I think Stephen A got worse. I mean, like some of the when they were together those years ago, like some of his takes on boxing and stuff like that weren't that bad. Now that I saw him
How many
boxing,
finals did he get wrong?
I can't take him serious.
But
But
even the finals, basketball, how many finals did he get wrong?
Oh yeah, he got like 8. He got 8 finals in a row incorrect. He picked the wrong team.
I don't know who hires these guys, man. Whatever, just like I get it.
Yeah.
Fuck that. Hire some good talent. Break that shit down. You got a lot of dummy fans fucking enlightening them a little bit. But yeah, not to get off topic and derail.
Well, while we're off topic, do you guys like JJ Redick? I don't.
What?
Do you guys like
What's
him?
not to like
I
about
it.
JJ Redick? That's
He's
another shiny sharp. He tells you how it is.
I think I don't. Maybe I gotta see him more, but he doesn't say anything really earth shattering to me. And people are like, "Oh my god, JJ Redick's like so like on it." I'm like, I don't get it. I don't get it. And I just see. And to be fair, I just see Instagram. Like it's not like I'm just seeing Instagram, and he comes up a lot. And when I read comments, and then other people in the NBA, they're like, "Man, JJ." X's, and I'm like, and maybe, and I'm like, I don't hate JJ Redick. I don't get it. I don't think he's like, I don't know. I don't get it. And then I don't know. He comes off really surly to me right away. He gets very defensive with people, and I don't know. I don't. I haven't, to be fair, but I just, I don't see what's so special about him. But I'm seeing he just gets a lot of. I don't even know what's the right word.
Have you watched enough about him, or?
I've seen. I don't watch him on Instagram or anything like that, but I've seen some stuff on ESPN because I like watching Malika Andrews, and he comes out in there, So I like listen, and then I've heard him on because I like what I hear on that show. I listen to him on some of the stuff on YouTube, and I like him. I think I like him as a player at Duke. Or as really a player in the NBA, and though he grew on me because he played hard in the NBA. But I like his point of view, man. I think he's really, really smart. He uses like facts and stats and all that stuff. So I don't know, but I like him. I think he's like a Tony Romo. I think he's like a Tony Romo of the NFL. Like when Tony Romo started commentating, and he was like, "Here's what's gonna happen if this player goes here." He's gonna go there. I think that JJ Redick's that good with the X's and O's, the way he breaks things down.
Okay.
I agree. I said like to me he's like more like a Shannon Sharp, like the basketball version. He calls it, he tells you how it is. He's not out there being loud and trying to be the loudest one. Like I'm loud, I'm right. No, none of that. I think what got people talking or mentioning JJ is the fact that he called out some people with the bullshit. And it went kind of viral. I forgot what Perkins had said. And then he called him out on some shit, and then so they went up, but
and he goes at Stephen A. a lot too, which
so he just calls what are you talking about? And the same thing. And these guys get worked up and loud. Like again, I don't want to butcher it and put words in people's mouth, but Perkins had said something on the lines like that Dirk Nowitzki won the MVP because he was white.
So he said,
kind of called him out, like, why would you say that? I forgot what his argument was, And then
He
Perkins,
said,
whoa, I never said that. Like, well, you just fucking said. And then, kind of like, he just kind of brings it up, calls you out and shit. But I said, I don't want to go more into detail because I forgot what the whole argument.
So Perkins had a couple of things that JJ like corrected him on. One of them was that since 1990, only 3 players that have not been in the top 10 in scoring have won the MVP, and that it was Steve Nash, Nowitzki, and Jokic. And he's like, well, tell me what those 3 have in common. That's what he was saying. And then the other one, and this is something that I repeated on our show, was that he said that Jokic was like chasing triple doubles. And I repeated it because I thought Perkins knew what he was talking about. And he's like, oh, he's just chasing triple doubles and like passing up open shots to get assists. So JJ Redick like destroyed him on both of them. Like he's like with Jokic, he's like he just goes into those stats. He's like the Jokic,
the boys remember right
when he passes the ball, like he has the highest percentage of getting people open shots than anybody else in the NBA. So he's not like chasing assists. Like when he gets people the ball, they're the most open out of anybody else that's doing the passing. There's like how and then the other one was MVP things like why you pick it started 1990 because Magic Johnson won MVPs in the 80s and he wasn't in the top 10 in scoring and he's not white. That was JJ's argument.
Okay. Yeah, I gotta see him more. I think, and then I'm not being fair, but I saw 2 of his takes. I think he was wrong. I think it was just like picking winners and stuff like that. But he was just very like confident about it. Kind of, I don't know. He comes out a little cocky to me, and then he was wrong both times. And I wish I could tell you which series it was. I know they got to pick every fucking series, But I don't know. It's just so I'm like, maybe And then it annoyed me that then he gets so many accolades from people, and but I don't know. Maybe. I gotta see him more. I gotta listen to him. I gotta hear his takes a little bit more.
They're saying he's probably gonna get a head coach job.
Yeah, see that. Okay,
Yeah, I think they talk about Toronto, but they already got Toronto got a head coach job, right?
No, Toronto did it.
Oh, Nick Nurse, their coach won Sixers, yeah.
Yeah.
But real quick, when he's brought up what do these 3 former MVPs have in common? Jokic and Steve Nash, and who's the other one? Dirk, right?
Yeah, Dirk.
And then they go like, I didn't say because it was white. I mean, but he never said why, right?
Yeah, it just said yeah.
Goes, hey, why I mean racial?
He just implied it. And that's what JJ told him is that when you implied this, how come you started in 1990?
Yeah.
But I also he was wrong anyway because Jokic was in the top 10 in scoring when he got the MVP, and so was Dirk. I think Dirk was number 9 or number 10. So no. That they didn't even question him on that. They just questioned him on why you're starting on 1990.
Yeah, but I don't know.
Gotcha.
JJ, back to that. I don't know. I don't want to get off topic or keep. I don't want to. We can move on real quick. But JJ Redick is like, I like people talking and making sense. Me, that shock value, you're getting louder and nah. Fuck it, save it for the casuals and shit like that. Okay, but having said that, I want to move on to something that real quick.
Good deal.
So real quick, you guys probably already talked about, or we brought up, and I have friends that probably mentioned Pippen going on Stacey King's podcast, and he made some. I don't agree with the words that he picked. Pretty much calling that Jordan was horrible before he got there, which I don't agree with, stuff like that. And he took some shots, and for whatever, he said what he said. I don't agree with all of it. I don't. I can't. Was he great? Bad? Like, I still think that before Pippen, that team was. And we'll get into it. That team wasn't that bad. That team was not that bad. People say he would play, but we'll touch on that, and we'll go through those players who the thing was I guess he called him horrible not because he was talented or lacked skills or but he hogged the ball and put up a bunch of shots, and that is pretty bad. To call him horrible, he was doing what he did, like he brought him in, he came to college, you plugged him in, and he's, is maybe one competitive. He didn't think that I was going to win with these guys, and he took it upon himself, whatever. And I forgot what else he mentioned to him. What I don't like, what kind of annoys the hell out of me now, is that now when I go to social media, you get all these Bulls fans group, like before all these Bulls fans would talk about, bring up honor is like the wrong word, but kind of what's the word I'm looking for? Like mention like old school players, pay tribute to them, Bulls news, rumors, discussion. Since then it's been bashing Pippen, just like that he's who was he without Jordan, blah blah blah. And at the end of the day, I just like got kind of tired of. Hey, Jordan's your favorite player. Hey, so be it. Jordan's your GOAT. Hey, I don't have a problem with it either. Hey, everybody can do whatever they want, whatever. But now when you're talking about Pippen, my guy, that he was nobody without Jordan, or that Jordan could have won with anybody because he obviously didn't before Pippen, or saying he had a head coach. Like it kind of irks me. Like all these people like just bash it. So I guess where I was going at is that people now since then I was just like putting up stupid stats, numbers, and that he won and he didn't do nothing without Jordan and Jordan carried him, and it's kind of it's been really irking me. Let's just give credit where credit is due. Jordan had a lot of help, a great head coach. Cross built a great team around him. Pippen was a great number two. If you want to label him, he was a fucking awesome number two for that time for what he was doing back then. Like, but it just all these casuals are just like, and if you're that person, if you're listening to this right now, one of the subscribers or fans, and you still believe that Pippen was trash or you're butthurt for what he said, you don't have to agree with it, but you're butthurt and you think that Jordan was the guy he could have won with anyone, any head coach, with that it was Jordan, then you're a fucking idiot. And do me a favor, don't listen. Not with me. Don't get the fuck out of here. No, I'm telling you, your friend, I'm over it. No. No, I'm losing. Maybe you feel the same too, but don't. Like, I'm just tired. Anybody. If you're like, don't want to give Pippen credit for what he did, and you think that Jordan carried everybody, go fuck yourself. Get the fuck out of here. You don't know what the fuck you're talking about. This is a good platform to talk sports. Let's be like give credit where credit is due, and say if you don't want to hear it, then go get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here. Sorry, that's just me. It's just been fucking. It's been pissing me off. It's my Lewis rant of the week.
I love the passion.
Luis?
Yeah, no, so I love the passion, and I love the invitation to all our many subscribers out there. You don't have to unsubscribe, but it could bring up. Yeah, no. So I wanted to touch a couple of things, man. So obviously, first and foremost, yeah, like I didn't know about that they're trashing Pippen. You can't trash his career and what he did for the Bulls and for Michael Jordan's legacy. I'm a big fan of Scottie Pippen in his game, and even after he left the Bulls, I still wanted him to win. I didn't want him to lose. Like when he left the Bulls, I still wanted Houston, Portland, like please just win a ring without Jordan, just because I like Pippen, and I think it would have been like, see, like he's not just second fiddle. You know what I mean? Now, with that said, I think they complemented both each other very well, and I know that he was always under Jordan's shadow. One of the things I will say, maybe I don't want to get on your bad side, but I don't think Pippen helps himself. I'm not talking about his game. I'm just talking about his persona. As a Bulls fan, I still can't understand, as much as the interviews he's done and all that, when he wouldn't want to go back in, when he threw a fit on the sidelines and didn't want to go back in because the play was designed for Tony Kukoc. That's very unforgivable for me. As just that, like that doesn't mean like dismiss them, but that that's a big character flaw for me. It's like, dude, you're like, come on, man. So anyway. That was a big part. And then, I think this is a personal thing between him and Jordan. I think Pippen is not on good terms with Michael Jordan. He didn't like things Jordan have said, maybe behind closed doors, in public, through the the Last Dance. And I think Pippen's just he's older now. He's like, fuck this. Who am I like? Why? I'm just gonna say what I want to been wanting to say for a long time. You know what I mean? Yeah. And he's coming after Jordan a little bit. So I think that's gonna paint him in a bad light with a lot of fans. But yeah, you can't argue his career and what kind of player he was for Michael Jordan, for the Bulls, complimenting Jordan. And then even his career afterwards, you know what I mean? One of the Hall of Fame career, one of the top players, one of my favorite players. But I just don't think he helps himself a lot with fans, which is okay. I don't think he cares at this point. But I mean, even when I was growing up, like I would hear people, like even when he was with the Bulls, I don't know if you guys, people would shit on him all the time. They call him no tip and Pippen, you know what I mean? I don't know if you remember back in the day. Like, ever since even when he was at the epitome of his, you know what I mean, fame in Chicago, people were still kind of surly with him. And I'm talking about all walks of people, just I would hear that, you know what I mean? So it was just, I don't think he helps himself, like for whatever reason. And I just think it sucks, you know what I mean? That they're both, they don't seem to be on good terms, man.
Yeah.
Right on that. You're my side, right? No, but what's up?
I think Lewis is kind of in the same.
No, he is. He is.
I think you guys covered almost all the stuff that I kind of had in my mind. I'll just add a couple more things. So I don't think he meant it like horrible player, like he sucked, right? Because he didn't, right? He won MVPs. He won that the 1 year he won. He was like averaging 30 something points, shooting over 45% from the field. I think maybe he meant more like a horrible teammate, because he wasn't. They asked him again about the GOAT, and he's kind of been a little back and forth, said he said that LeBron's going to be the greatest statistical player of all, or going to have the greatest stats of all time. And that's unquestionable. But then he said, when it comes about the GOAT, like I'll let you guys discuss that because it's a team sport. That's how he started it, right? So it's not a one player; it's a team sport. So he says that there is no GOAT there because you can't do it all by yourself. So then he said, Jordan didn't win until I got there. Before I got there, I think he meant to say he was a horrible teammate or a bad teammate, and then they learn how to play as a team. That's what he meant to say, not a horrible player. And a horrible teammate meant like he was selfish. And if you guys remember in The Last Dance, even though Jordan said, I couldn't have won without Scottie Pippen, but he was selfish. He specifically called Pippen selfish for getting that surgery in 1998. And then he brought out the migraine. He brought up the fact that he didn't come out for that last shot. Like Pippen, like you said, Louis, that upset him. Like there was no reason to go and talk shit about him when the whole thing was about The Last Dance and everything that came out in it. Jordan made the final decision. What was gonna be? What was gonna make it? What wasn't gonna make it? So he decided to put all this stuff, and it was in Pippen's mind was to make himself look even better. Like, aren't you already fucking great enough? Aren't you already the fucking god of basketball? Why do you have to put your teammate down to make yourself even higher than you already are? You can't get higher than Jordan. So I think that obviously that pissed him off. Now you guys know that his ex-wife is fucking dating MJ's kid too.
Yeah.
So like he could he's got all this shit. He's pissed off at Jordan. His kid's dating his ex-wife, and I just think all these little things. And like you said, Lucy probably doesn't care. So he's just gonna speak his mind. The last thing I'll say is, I didn't know that people were shitting on him either. So I did see our boy Chris. Chris Bruce did say that he think that any other decent wing, and Jordan would have won. I don't think so. He says that Jordan and Drexler would have been a better combo than what Jordan and Pippen are.
He's a fucking idiot. Have you ever seen this shit? You're a fucking idiot. You've been a fucking idiot for a long time.
But I didn't know he had those stupid takes. But
I told you he's an idiot.
But let's say Jordan, and it is a team game, and Jordan never won without Pippen. Pippen never won without Jordan. Even I was with Luis. I wanted him to win. But it seems like it's everything about Jordan, right? Everything, the winning is all Jordan. So it's kind of like fucking Neil Armstrong or fucking that Zuckerberg guy or fucking Bill Gates. they didn't
Sure.
do it by themselves.
Right.
But everybody only remembers this one person, and the other people that are part of the team that help that name succeed. You know, I think that's where Pippen is. Like,
Yeah.
fuck, like I was there too. I fucking flew to the moon. Or
Right.
flew, whatever it's called.
Not only that, but he had Horace Grant and Rodman and Ron Harper. He had a great head coach and Jerry Cross built that
Jackson,
team.
yeah.
You know, so it's like, but you know, so like I said, like the other day, I wasn't trying to get an argument. You know, I just thought it was a funny clip I sent you guys with Keenan. It was funny, you know. But he goes, "Hey, you guys always talk about it. Like you always make it seem like it's 5-on-1. You know, that's what. And it's true. Like there's other key factors to it. You know, like you want to give most credit to him, but I'll do. I get it. You know, but the same thing, like they couldn't win. Like, hey, you know. Just and I remembered it correctly. I looked up the stats during the 6 title runs. Jordan outscored Pippen, but guess who had the most rebounds, the most assists,
Yeah,
the
Pippen,
most steals,
Yep.
the most blocks, and guess who defended the best player? That's not a bad. You know what I'm saying? So you're gonna tell me that Drexler was gonna do the same thing? Come on, man. Hey, you know what? Come on. Let's be honest too. At the same time, like let's just think about it. The second 3P, like. Payton was gone already, right? You had the second one was oh no, I lied. It was a 3 out of 6. You had Suns and the Jazz, right? Well, who's guarding you? Dan Marley and Jeff Hornacek. Yeah, you should do pretty good, you know.
in the second,
The
second.
second one.
No. 3 out of 6. 3 out of 6.
Oh, 3 out of 6. Okay, gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? People don't like hey, come on, like who matched up with you too, you know? Don't act like you were scoring on everybody in the finals, putting up 30. Because the one time they put a legit defender on you was Gary Payton, and you didn't do too hot, you know. But you want to laugh at it on the documentary, like, no, get out of here. All right, then explain where you put up X amount of numbers, your field. So okay, I said I don't want to get off, tangent, but it says that like Pippen deserves some credit. I suppose I say the guys that were banging down low, like Horace and Rodman, Phil Jackson that was scheming. And you know what? Cross, that fucking put that team together on you. Okay, after Jordan Pippen, he didn't do so hot. Who knows? Maybe his health. I'm not making this to the guy. He didn't do too great, right? You know, with Curry and Chandler and whatever. But who knows going to? But let's just say when you had Jordan, and you made that move for Pippen, and then you started building this team. Cross didn't look good, but even when Jordan wasn't there during those 2 years, guess what? We were still in the hunt. We didn't look too bad, you know. So
Yeah,
everybody else, the fans.
He rebuilt, right? Chandler, Curry, Heinrich. You know what we were missing? It could have been the coach, because Chandler went out and won a championship with Dallas. They knew how to use him. Heinrich was in the USA team. You know, Gordon was decent. So it wasn't all that he didn't put. It's hard to put a team back together when your fucking 2 all-stars, leave. But he did put a solid team. We just didn't have the coaching. They didn't know how to use him correctly.
Yeah.
He got his fishing buddy, Tim Floyd. Like that was no, that's a really good point. Adam, because I'm over here, I did say that, Pippen doesn't help himself, you know what I mean, going. But you're right, he is getting poked by Michael Jordan, you know what I mean? Jordan passive aggressively is taking shots at him, you know what I mean? So and that's Jordan's ego, you know what I mean? Like that's always one thing, I'm a big fan of Michael Jordan and his game. I'm not the biggest fan of Michael Jordan, What makes Michael Jordan, I feel, sometimes great on the court doesn't translate as the best person right outside the court. So his ego's pretty big, takes these shots at Pippen. And then, it's still unfair, then Pippen voices out and he gets trashed, Jordan takes shots at Pippen and I feel like overall fans give him a pass, That's just what happens with the territory of being the GOAT. But I just, but I think it's unfair on Pippen. I could see why he gets, you know what I mean? A little butthurt about it and thoroughly and, but
Yeah, I agree. He doesn't help himself. And I have no idea what his ultimate goal is, right? He wrote that book. Like, is he trying to make himself likable so that he could, be on shows and be a commentator like he used to be on ESPN? Like this stuff, even though he's being honest, is not helping his career, whatever he wants to do in his career.
Yeah, it's a good point.
like when people vote for politicians, you only want to pick and choose what you want to hear, But when they
Mhm.
drop all the entire group, like, no, you said too much. What are you talking about? It's the same thing. But yeah, it's kind of bothered me. It's like, and I'll show you, share some posts. It's just like again, you don't gotta agree with him, but at the same time, like fucking like they're like they said the Bouchard move. Like they said, I didn't even know he said that, but any decent wingman, no, that's the
Yeah.
it's just
And I feel like he was
the
taking a
second
shot. 'Cause-
but because there was like kind of Jazz those 2 years, and then I mean, I'm not saying he would have lost all six, but come on, man, it's just like what you got a decent wingman that again defended the best player, led the team in rebounds and those tension runs and assists, and steals, and I'm missing something else. What is it? Rebounds, steals, assists, block
Blocks.
shots, and then so whatever. Like, yeah,
Yeah.
that's not like a decent, fucking wingman for me, but.
And not
But
just the
Bouchard's
finals,
tough.
right? Not just the finals. Remember, he would guard like fucking Mark Jackson, like the point guards. He would just guard like the best fucking player from power
I think
forward to
Pippen
point
hit it on a minute when he said that he was him before LeBron because that's who he was. And then people bashed him like, what the fuck? And he felt like he took it back. But he was LeBron before, he was LeBron on steroids or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, more genetically free, gifted, bigger, stronger, faster.
LeBron is Pippen.
LeBron. There you go.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But it's just like, man, it's just like you guys. But if people just want to remember what they want to remember, but like, it's a joke. So, like I said, one last time, if you're that fan, just don't do me a favor. Don't subscribe to our channel. Take a hike. Go listen to Chris Bouchard and Skip Bayless. Whatever makes you feel good. Whatever makes you sleep. Whatever makes you sleep better at night. Whatever gets you through the day. Go over there. Go shoot.
Chris usually does. I agree with like 85% of what Chris says. But yeah, when he said that he would, if he was starting a team, he would take Drexler over Pippen. I just couldn't believe that he said that.
Different positions, whatever.
The guy that he was with, he's like, if you were starting a team, you would pair Jordan with Drexler instead of Jordan with Pippen. And he's like, yeah. He's like, nah, you don't know what you're talking about.
That's stupid.
Come on, was Drexler going to rebound like he did? Was he going to defend? Drexler wasn't even a great defender. He was a shitty defender.
Yeah, just defending.
Wow.
So guess what? Jordan would have had us in the first series, the Lakers. He would have stuck on Magic. He would have had to sit down there. You know how that one when game one. He would have stepped up. You know
that video you sent us, Luis, about Barkley talking about Dirk Nowitzki.
Yeah.
And they couldn't stop him, right? So between the three of them, MJ, Pippen, and Barkley, they all decided, okay, Pippen, you take him because you're obviously the best defender. The other thing it made me think about is how they were friends, right? Like they played on the dream team. Like they used to talk. And MJ now doesn't talk to either one of them because they criticize him. Like he just can't take
his fucking ego, man. Yeah, he's a bad dude. He's a bad friend. But but and I felt like even horrible teammate. But then I heard I felt like Barkley was kind of tongue in cheek with about Pippen too, because he was like, he's like did you guys catch that when he's like, oh, and this is when Pippen's supposedly the greatest defender in the world or in the league. Like he even said it kind of like, poking fun at him, you know what I mean? So anyway, I just thought it was funny, and then it kicked off a whole thing.
Yeah, like I said, I kind of got the remark, but like I'm like, all right, who's gonna do better? Like, you know what I'm saying? Obviously that's your number one resource, your best resource, and like help them out. Like I said, and that's the other thing too. When people talk like, nah, like 90s could shut down like Kevin Durant. Durant's a better scorer, same size, 7-footer. This guy, Dirk is just shooting fadeaways, in the post and whatever it is. I mean, he has a decent, but Durant is. So it just tells you like the best defender right now. Like I said, it was, nobody stepped up. Like, let me help you out. Hey, you know what?
Right.
Hey, you weren't that good, Jordan. You're gonna have to get on Dirk. You know what I'm saying? Hey, you know what? Obviously, you suck. I'm gonna take Dirk. No, it's not that. They say, hey, you gotta pump it up. You know what I'm saying? Because if you don't do it, no one else can. So I don't know what he thought was what his train of thought was, but
How are we on time, Adan? I try to keep track of it. I think
We got like 10 minutes to get to the an hour and a half. So we
okay.
got 10 minutes.
So we kind of touch base, I think, on everything we wanted to touch base on. But before we sign off, does anybody have anything that they feel we haven't touched base on before next week? That you wanted to comment, Sal?
I mean, I touched on what I wanted to touch on. Something else that we didn't touch on today, not so much, is the finals are overtaking it. We're
Sure.
not gonna fake the funk. We're not big hockey fans. We could chime in a little bit about that, but the only thing I think I kind of wouldn't mind talking about it next week is some White Sox baseball, maybe some Cubs
Yeah.
baseball. See where we stand, like where we're at. How do you guys feel about that? Some baseball talk will be good.
Yeah.
I didn't get a chance to watch the Loma fight. I will. I promise you guys, I watch that 10 minutes. I don't know. It's a close fight. I don't know which way I'll go or trying to
Yeah.
influence you guys or anything like that. But I still do want to dive into that. But I don't know, Dan. Do you have something else you want to chime in on?
No, I'm good.
Sounds good. I'll just wrap up with a little bit of boxing tidbits, I'm still pushing boxing, we don't have the big fight until July 29th, Terrence Crawford and Errol Spence. So, and then Teofimo Lopez is fighting June 10th against Josh Taylor. That should be a good fight. But man, I don't know if Sal froze, but how do you call it? Or he's just like snoozing on the boxing, you know what I mean? It's like I don't want to hear it. Oh, he's back. All right. But no, so nothing new on the boxing horizon, just a couple things that I thought was funny. I don't have too much information to speak on it. I was just curious what you guys thought. So right now the thing is, Oscar De La Hoya, obviously a promoter, right? And my memory is horrible. I should have looked this up before bringing it up, but I think at one point he was Canelo's promoter, I want to say. Maybe I don't follow a lot of the promoters now, kind of like getting back into boxing. They pop up. So now Ryan Garcia seems to be butting heads with Oscar De La Hoya, kind of saying, like, giving him shit because after the Tank Davis fight, I don't know if Ryan Garcia was up there in the podium doing, the interview afterwards, and Oscar De La Hoya wasn't there, Bernard Hopkins wasn't there, none of his promoters were there. Oscar De La Hoya then put a video the next day saying he couldn't be there because he was getting death threats, and Bernard Hopkins was banned from, attending all, supposedly because he had put his hands on Tank Davis during the weigh-in. And then, so now Ryan Garcia's like, he's putting out tweets. He's a young guy, so he's putting out tweets like, hey, these are the next 3 guys that I want to fight. And De La Hoya's like, oh, I haven't talked to Ryan, but I think the next fight, we're trying to set him up to fight Manny Pacquiao. And Ryan Garcia's like, no, I'm not doing that. So it's just, what do you guys think? Like Oscar De La Hoya, obviously, had a very decorated boxing career. I think at one point it seemed like he was a pretty exciting promoter, but this might be his second, pretty big star attraction boxer that he might lose under his promotion. Well, you guys have any thoughts about that? Oscar, if it's just the boxers really just being kind of Canelo and Ryan Garcia being kind of prima donnas, or is it maybe does Oscar just suck as a promoter?
Well, then you take that one.
Man, I think I'm gonna go with just randomly off the top of my head. I'm gonna go with he sucks, just because if Ryan's being that public with it, I'm guessing that he has already expressed that interest to De La Hoya, and he can't get the fights that he's asking for. He can't get it done. So now he's going publicly and just like putting him on blast to put more pressure on him. Because that's the same reason Canelo decided to leave. Even the pandemic, like Canelo was trying to get fights because obviously he wants to get paid. And he said that De La Hoya couldn't come up with the fights, of the options that he would give him. Another stat you just made me think of is, Canelo's first fight, you know how much he got paid? And it made me think about it because, you know, he's getting offered 50 million to fight Benavidez in September. So Canelo's first professional fight, he made $40.
Oh, shit.
Yeah,
I had no idea. Look at that.
Yeah, I think Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. made somewhere in like, you know, 300 in his first professional fight just because of the name. So
Yeah.
without knowing anything else, I'll just say that La Hoya sucks as a promoter because he can't get the fights that these guys are asking for.
My take, I don't know. He might be trash. I think his track. He's been a promoter for how long already? A couple decades already. So his track record
Yeah.
itself, like, I mean, why would you say he's great? Show me, you know, like he might just, I don't know. It just, he might bring up a few fighters, but then he loses them, and there's always some kind of beef with them. I said this Ryan Garcia one, like, why would you let him sign that clause? But because this guy Tank wanted that fight just as bad as this guy wanted. Well, why the rehydration clause? Why what did you give in? Like, you were sending this guy to fail. So like, no, like, he's great. No, he's far from great. He's good. He's not even good, in my opinion. So no.
Cool. Yeah, no, I agree with you guys. I think, I think his ego is still there for Oscar. He still likes to be kind of center stage over his fighters. Yeah, I think it kind of kicks him in the butt, man. Like, it's just curious to me if he loses Ryan Garcia after losing Canelo. Like, that's crazy to me. It's like, I don't know. I just don't understand. But that's it. That's all I got.
I got another little stat. If I don't know if that reminds me stepping on his toes real quick, but something that came upon this week.
Bookie, you're doing a Bookie.
I'll tell you about my thing. The bet I'm thinking about making in the next week or so. But our friend Pat, our friend of the show, right? Because he comes. I don't know if you've seen Luis, because you go on social media. I don't know that you're not following too much, but it popped up that Pat Riley has participated in nearly a quarter of the NBA Finals in the NBA Finals history. So he's at 24.7% or something like that, as a player, as a coach, as an executive, and that's pretty darn impressive. So my hats off to you. I had one to Mr. Pat Riley. He definitely made the Lakers Bulls interesting, the Bulls Knicks interesting, and he did he kept the Miami Heat.
The Bulls Heat, because he was, I think, he was their coach with Mourning and Hardaway too after the Knicks.
Well, right. There you go. And so you know what you're doing. Whatever you keep doing it, you're a great guy. It's so a quarter of
that's a good one. Yeah.
I don't want to take credit for it. I just probably because
I saw that.
Yeah, you are on social media as much as I do. And I know you don't get on it so much, and it popped up. I looked it up, and that was like he did it. He started with like 72 as a guard for the Lakers. I'm like, Jesus Christ, 72. So,
and because of that triggered me, so that's a good stat. I saw another one.
Bring it. We got like 5 minutes, I think. I don't know.
I saw another one, and if it's okay with you guys, can I take my petty shot of the week?
No,
I couldn't hear you guys.
I thought we were gonna go one show without a shot.
It's just like, but I don't know. But it's in line with what Sal was saying. So I didn't get a chance to send you guys this video, but it was about Eric Spoelstra, about his journey as a coach, one of the most respected coaches right now. So, but it started off with how he started. It was really Pat Riley grooming him, and Pat Riley seeing something in him and being like, this guy's gonna be a really good coach, but it started off there. The video, it's not even me. The video's like, but remember when they first started off, he started off in a shaky situation because none other than LeBron James and Dwayne Wade were bitching about him because they started off in a lukewarm start, after that big, super team in their prime putting together that LeBron did. So Eric Spoelstra was messing that up for LeBron, and they started bitching about him. And Pat Riley, to his credit, said, not changing coaches. We're sticking with them, Now they went on to the finals. They lost against Dallas that year. Next year they come back and they win. They win it all for the next 2 years, right? and the rest is history with Spoelstra. You know what I mean? Where he's at. But I thought it was a really nice video, and I'm glad that you brought up Pat Riley and that he stood up to the bitching of Dwayne Wade and LeBron James and said, "Nope, I know what I'm doing. You guys just play the games. I call the shots." Sticking with Spo. So hats off to you, Mr. Riley. Just like you said, Sal.
You know what? I think I read something like that. I don't know. It was implied it was that year. I don't know if it's confirmed, but it was the quote. I want to look up that quote that he told these players. And then I think it was like, I was like, when I heard that, I'm like, God damn. Like, kind of like I didn't know who it was at the time. And then later on, I suspected, but it was, I'm trying to look it up. What is Riley?
A quote from Spoelstra
No,
or from
to these players. Like the minute they told him that, goes like, let's go downstairs, get all the team. He supposedly put him on the line them up, all the team up, and kind of like, hey, like we gotta talk.
But who did that? Sorry, who with Spoelstra or Riley? Who did that?
Riley, because they were complaining about
Mhm.
Spoelstra.
Mhm.
But
You know who was complaining about him.
Yeah, he thought of everything he knows. Why do you think he's such a good coach?
So something along the lines like, don't ever come into my office and tell me to fire a coach, and that's what it kind of like. I want to look it up, but that's what he kind of said. Like, don't come into my office. Like, someone came to him, they went to the team, lined them up, whatever. Don't ever come to my office and tell me to fire a coach. Kind of Riley's like, hey, I know what I'm doing. Hey, you know what? And
Yes.
yeah. So, but yes, real quick, I just want to give credit where credit's due. Real quick, it started back in '72 as a guard, '73 Lakers guard, '76 Lakers guard, 1980 a Lakers assistant coach, 1982 Lakers coach, '83 Lakers coach, '84 Lakers coach, '85 Lakers coach, '87 Lakers coach, '88 Lakers coach, '89 Lakers coach, '94 Knicks coach, 2006 head coach, 2011 Heat executive. It's not as sexy no more, right? But still, he's getting the job done. 2012 Heat executive, 2013, 14, 2020, 2030 Heat executive. Those are all Pat Riley. So kudos to him again. I get credit where credit is due.
He wasn't the coach in '90 when the Lakers went up against the Bulls, right? It was Harris.
Let's find out. I had this team right there.
Or
I think it was Dale Harris.
Was it
Oh,
Del Harris?
yeah, it was Harris. It was Harris.
Dunn?
He got in the New York State. I don't know why he left, but yeah, you're right. It was
It must be
88, 89 head coach.
Pat Riley week, because I saw another story pop up on Instagram, and it was Shaq telling it when he was with Miami, and Pat Riley was trying to make an example. So I don't know if Pat Riley was the coach at that time, but he got into it with Shaq, Pat Riley. And it was Pat Riley and Shaq telling the story separately through like an interview, and they got in each other's face. He was trying to make Pat Riley was trying to say that Jason Williams wasn't going to suit up because he was late or something like that. And then Shaq was like, no, he's in, or he's going to suit up. And Pat Riley said, nope, he's not, And then the next day, Shaq got traded from the Miami Heat to the Phoenix Suns. So I think it was towards yeah. But Shaq says it like, so as you can see, I never back down from anybody, but his ass got traded, you know what I mean? Like,
who was he talking about? I'm sorry, I didn't catch the first part there.
He was talking about it was just a story about Pat Riley and Shaquille O'Neal getting in each other's face. Like Pat Riley was trying to make an example of Jason Williams being late. White chocolate, yeah. That was that was at the tail end of, obviously Shaq's Miami career. The next day his wife told Shaq that he got traded to Phoenix. But it's just cracked me out because Shaq telling the story, he was still kind of like, so yeah, I never backed down, like I gotta stand up for my guys.
That's a pretty good movie.
Yeah, so 89 was the last thing with the well, I don't know if that was the last thing with the coach, but that's the last time we went to the finals. So it was the Pistons are back this time, just bowling. Any notion Riley might have had the three-peat. So I guess that's when 89 and then 9. That's when the Bad Boys beat the Lakers. According to this, the outcome was all sealed in the third quarter of game 2 when Johnson pulled his left hamstring and the injury rendering him and the Lakers attack ineffective from there on out. So, see, people don't remember that. The Pistons won back-to-back, the bad boys, but Johnson pulled his hamstring game 2, and he was effective from the game out. So, I said nobody would have, could have, should have.
They could have had a three-peat. I know Isaiah Thomas talking about it. Yeah.
And then after spending 1991 season as co-host for the NBA Showtime show, Riley was hired by the Knicks in May of 91. So after that, that's what happened. So
Good shit.
I think that's it. Anything else?
That's it, man. Want to sign us off, Sal?
I think we had another great show. I want to thank everybody for chiming in. Like I said, if you're one of those Pippen haters or whatever, get the hell out of here. I don't need you. So if there's nothing else, I'm gonna throw the flag right here. On review, the ruling on the field stands. We have another great show. We'll see you guys next Thursday. Can't wait. See you soon. Upon further review, the ruling on the field stands. This is the greatest sports podcast, First and Goat.